This morning we're looking at the natural hair craze. Now, all of a sudden, everywhere you turn, ladies are cutting their hair. They're going natural. They're going short. What's happening to the long hair and the Brazilian, Indian, Monrovian, Peruvian, and all the different types of hair craze? Is that the end of the era? Okay, we'll be looking at that. And my guests this morning are Emma Yankee. She's a cosmetologist from Second Image, and also Cody Aziz. She's a natural hair role model, and she comes sporting her very lovely looking natural hair. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Doing well.
Cody, let me start with you. Why did you decide to go natural?
So
have you always been natural?
So I've been natural for the past 15 years. So I'm one of the few women where I've had natural hair more than I've ever had permed hair. So in my entire life, I've actually only permed my hair for about 8 years of my life. And the issue is that perms are very harsh on your hair, and African hair comes in so many different types that if your hair is not really strong at the root, putting a chemical on it every 4 to 6 weeks has a tendency to make it break at the root. So I found myself in a situation where I was consistently losing hair at the back of my head. So finally I permed my hair, and it had fallen out, and I said from that moment I just cut it all off, and I've been natural ever since.
Okay, so basically it's the results of the actions of chemicals on your hair that was the turning point for you.
Yes, they don't.
Okay, you talked about relaxing your hair every 4 to 6 weeks. What if you wait longer? I know some people that wait 2 to 3 months. Would that be better? Would you say that's better the hair?
I think it's better, but I think that any time that you change your hair from a natural state, you're going to create damage. It's the same as if a white person gets a perm to have curly hair. There are times where it's going to create damage. So yes, I think it's better if you can spread it out, but I think it's best if you just learn to work with your natural hair and then straighten it. Because you can straighten natural hair. So if I want to wear my hair straight, I can just use a flat iron and straighten it. So, there are many processes that you can use to get your natural hair in a straight state without doing the chemicals.
Are you happier having natural hair than you were with your permed or relaxed hair?
I am. I feel it fits my face better, number one. I think that when you have natural hair, it really brings out your face. Sometimes when you wear the longer hair, it has a tendency to cover your face, so people can't see as many as your facial features. And natural hair is very diverse. Over the past 15 years, I've worn everything from an afro to dreadlocks to twists. So there are so many different things that you can do with it.
We'll come back to the different things that you can do with natural hair. Let me go on to Emma now. Now, Emma, you have permed hair. We can see that. Would you ever go natural?
I have gone natural several times, and I'm still thinking.
Why do you keep coming back?
Well, I keep going back and forth because sometimes, like she said, you want to have like a different look, and so we keep changing until one day you decide that okay, this is the time I want to go natural.
So you're still in that decision making process space.
Yes. And then
but isn't it taking a toll on your hair, going from natural to perming it and going back and forth?
Yes, it is really taking a toll because sometimes I realize that if I change from natural to the artificial hair, I realize that my hair starts breaking, and then it starts splitting, and then even now I'm having some, a bit of someone would say like the hair pulls up from the root because you're using chemicals.
It's not strong
to destroy the hair, and so I'm still taking the toll. I'm still taking the path of turning into a natural hair.
Okay. Cody, we've noticed that in recent times a lot of people have started going natural or going short, cutting off their hair. What do you think started this trend?
I think that it's more of an empowerment. I feel like a lot of times people, especially 50s, 60s, 70s, as people were moving more into the professional realm and getting management positions and starting companies, a lot of people felt that it wasn't very professional. And they felt that because a lot of their counterparts had straight hair and a lot of the women wore their hair in buns. So here you come in with this wide afro. It's not necessarily it doesn't blend in. And I think now that you have a variety of women who are in high positions who wear their hair natural, and I think that you also see it more in the media trend, people wearing their hair natural. So I think it's created something where people have become a lot more comfortable with understanding that natural hair doesn't necessarily have to be composed, it doesn't necessarily have to be straight. great in that it can still be wild, it can be funky, it can be neat, and still be attractive at the same time. And I think that so much has been discovered about natural hair and the products that you use on natural hair that it's made it a lot more manageable to work with. One of the misconceptions is people feel like because you have very curly hair that your hair is very strong or very tough, and that's not the case. Most people with an African hair, it's very actually sensitive hair. This is why when you comb it in its natural state, a lot of times you'll get a lot of shedding and breaking. So I think that this is a popular misconception. I think that as people have become more curious about wearing their natural hair, and scientific research has shown a variety of benefits of wearing your natural hair, people are starting to embrace it a little bit more.
Okay, but a lot of people also feel that natural hair kind of looks unkempt.
And it can.
You know what I mean?
Natural hair can look unkempt.
Yeah, like dirty, and they just connote it with not being very clean. You know what I mean?
It is true.
Like you don't take a bath and all kinds of things.
So I think that your hair can be unkempt whether it is natural or whether you wear the weave.
What style is this hair?
So this is just a twist out. So it's when you twist your hair and then you simply take out the twist.
Can I touch
and
it? Do you mind if I touch it? Okay, it's actually soft.
Yeah, so but it's also because I know the combination of products. Shea butter, coconut oil works really well for my hair because it's thicker. If you have thinner hair, you'll find that you want to use lighter products. So I feel like there's so much that you can do with it, and it can be unkempt, but there's a lot of fun ways to style it now.
Yeah, but it's also very difficult to manage, I hear, natural hair. Is it very difficult to manage?
I think hair.
Do you know what to do with it? What do you do with it?
I feel like hair is difficult to manage. Like when we look at all of our hair this morning, I'm sure we all spent a certain amount of time on our hair this morning.
No, I just go brush 2-3 strokes and I'm done. No, 2-3 strokes and I'm done. So with natural hair, I hear you have to braid it every night before you go to sleep. You have to put different products in it.
You do. Yes, it does probably, depending on your hair type, take a little bit more work, and everybody's hair type is different. So for someone like me who has very thick hair and very like curly, compact hair, yes, it does. My hair likes to be braided and twisted every night or every 2 days. That's how it is. Some people, though, they have the same thing with you. They just have like the perfect curly fro. So, I mean, they can tie it up quickly, pull it out in the morning, sort of fluff it out, and then they're ready to go. So it goes back to everybody, I think, has different styles, just like you see some women with weave and it looks unkempt. I mean, I don't want to see like your track coming up from the side or, dirt at the root of your hair. So I feel like whatever hairstyle you wear, it's important that it's neat, it's important that it's well washed, and that it's clean. I think that, yes, like for the people who just wake up in the morning and their afro stuck on one side, or, you can tell it hasn't had oil in 2 weeks, yes, they need a little bit of help.
Okay. Emma, do you think that there's a decline in the rush or love for foreign hair, all the Brazilians and the Indians and all the different types of hair that you can think about in the market? Is it kind of phasing and fading out?
Yes, now I think it's fading. Like she said, a lot of people are now, trooping to the natural hair.
Why?
The reason being that they've realized that with the artificial hair, it causes damage to the hair. Because you braid the hair first in cornrow, and then you stitch it or you glue it to the hair, and it takes a while before you take it off. You don't wash the hair regularly, and so your natural hair begins to break. You begin to have dandruff, and then you begin to have splitting of hair and all of that. You don't base the scalp, and etc., and so it causes a lot of problem to your natural hair. And so now people are just shifting or drifting away from keeping the artificial hair to the natural hair.
Do you also think the cost of these hairs is also one of the reasons? Because these hairs, they don't come cheap.
It's
Brazilian, Indian, Mongolian, Peruvian, Russian. Give me lots of names.
Yeah, it's one major factor. Okay, now people buy or they spend all their salary in buying just a bundle of hair, and it takes them a long time to recover from getting that money again, and so it's difficult for you to save and buy artificial hair. Now, after buying the artificial hair, you need to take good care of that hair as well. If you have it on, you need to use oils, you need to straighten them, you need to curl them and all of that. Do you have that time to do all of these things? And so people are now, just tired
of it.
Yeah, they're tired of it. And then one other factor is that people bring in the fake ones, and they have the original brand on it. The hair is fake, and then they have
so you spent good money on something that is not of good quality.
Good quality. And so people are now seeing the difference. They rather prefer the natural hair to the artificial.
Okay, right. Now, Cody, a lot of times people say, oh, I'm natural, my hair is natural, and they take a lot of pride in saying that. But a lot of people with natural hair also put attachments in their hair, like with the afro and things. I know Amma, for example, the hair she has on now is a wig or a weave. It's been kind of, I don't know, but it looks really good. So when they say natural now, it's not completely natural, is it?
It is true. There are many.
They wear weaves and all, natural hair weaves. Like
natural hair weaves. It's true. And I mean, and I think
so. What's the difference, really?
So I'm going to say this. I don't think that there is a difference, and I think we were talking earlier before the show. I think it's important, whatever hairstyle you do as a woman, you have to give your hair a break. My issue is with people, especially wearing the weaves, is that you never wear anything else except for weave. So if you have been wearing weave for 15 years or 5 years, and then you decide to go natural, and you still put on a weave, you're still doing the same damage, because you're not giving your hair the break that it needs. You'll find that your hair still breaks, that you're probably still not moisturizing it enough because you have on this attachment piece and the oil can't get down properly. Now, this isn't to say that for certain styles, like if you want like the big puff at the front, you might have to stuff some in it. However, though, you should look at how you're incorporating weave into your natural styles. I have worn I've gotten the front of my hair stuff before, but none of the hair was attached. It was really just my hair blow dried back with hair stuck underneath that matched fairly the texture. So, but when you're getting it like braided in and you're getting it, attached in pretty much the same way, it's essentially the same thing. So I can't give you props just because, you have fuzzy hair at the top. It's still weave. And, the weave that you get for the natural hair is actually tougher on your hair than the Brazilian because it's synthetic. So at least the Brazilian and all of the hair you're spending money on. Exactly. And though it pulls on your thing, it's not necessarily synthetic hair. When it rubs against your regular hair, it will break off because essentially it's like plastic, right? Rubber. So you have to realize that, especially when you're having natural hair and you have like fake natural hair, it's really worse for your hair than it is wearing the weave because, like I said, eventually it's just going to start cutting and breaking your hair anyways.
Right. Now, you touched a little bit on this earlier on. A lot of corporate institutions will just not permit people to come in with natural hair. I don't know why, but how do you think people can style their hairs to be more corporate society friendly?
Yeah.
Because a lot of institutions will not allow you to come in with your natural hair for some of the reasons we mentioned earlier. It's all over the place. It looks unkempt.
It's true. I'm very fortunate to be able to work for myself, and I plan lifestyle events. So because I plan lifestyle events, I have had the opportunity, it sort of fits with what I do. However, though, I have had situations where I've worked in corporate situations, and yes, it can sometimes be tough. However, though, natural girl's best friend is water. You would be surprised what a little bit of water in a spray bottle and oil can do. It actually makes your hair very manageable. What you can basically do is slick it back. You can put it up in buns. You can actually style it like you can have braid it down at the top, tuck it underneath. So it goes for like a 1920s, 1930s style tuck. You can also, of course, do the infamous puff where you brush your hair up really well and then wear it at the puff on the top of your head. And then, of course, you see a lot of women now wearing the cane braids. You see a lot of them wearing the twists and braids. So now there's really so many different ways that you can style your hair and go to work. And even some women, although I don't necessarily advocate tying your hair down every day, you'll find that even some women just tie their natural hair down during the week. They keep it braided. They wear a wig over it, and then over the weekend, they're natural.
Okay. What is your take on short hair, but permed short hair? It's short, but it's not natural. It's permed. Is that better than the weaves?
With the permed short hair, it's still the same as you having a long permed
because there's still
yes,
chemicals.
Because you still have chemicals in it, and so if you don't treat them well, people say that I have a short hair, so I won't condition it, or I won't do any deep penetrating treatment to it. If you don't do any of that, it's still the same as you having a long hair and not taking good care of it, because there's some sort of chemicals in it. You need to base it, you need to do the preconditioning treatment and all of that, and then you can have it in a good state. So it's the difference is that you having a natural hair like she has doesn't have any chemical in it, but even if it's short and it has chemical in it, it's still like the long hair with the chemical.
Okay, now I know you are battling with whether or not to go natural or to go, you're still in that phase, but what would you say the ideal situation would be? To have your normal Brazilian, all types of different hairs, or to go natural? What is the ideal hair?
The ideal situation here is, I think it's better you go natural, because I have gone through the natural process.
So why do you keep going back if you think that that's the best way? Why are you stuck to it?
The reason why I keep on going back is because of some circumstance in life, and then work issues and all of that. Once in a while, somebody will ask you that, okay, I want to have this product tested, and so you have to be a model.
Test it on
yourself first, and so it's because of the kind of job I do.
So then, can we say that you never go natural then?
I will go natural one day.
One day.
And I think it's tough for the transition too, because it takes a while for natural hair to transition. So part of it is you cut your hair off, and I mean,
how long does it take for it to get natural? How long do you have to leave your hair unpermed? Do you have to cut your hair and start
on the length that you're comfortable cutting it down?
What is the process? Do you have to cut everything off and start growing it afresh, or you just stop perming your hair?
You cut it to the new growth.
Yeah, you cut it to the new growth, and then some people also leave the artificial and then they start braiding. And so they braid it, and then the new growth comes, and then they take the artificial off it.
Yeah, I found most people cut their natural hair depending on how much length they want, or their permed hair depending on how much length they want on their natural. So you'll have some people where they absolutely grow out their hair into the fact where they can't pull a comb through it, and then they cut it down to the new growth because they know they have like a little baby afro. You have some people, they don't necessarily mind, so they'll go ahead and take it off and go bald or do a fade, and then grow their hair back out. But the thing about natural hair is there's always going to be that transitional point, so you have to be very aware of that. Like, you're going to go through an ugly stage. Like, that's just like, there's no way around it.
Does natural mean ugly? Are you saying natural means
not at all, but you're going through an awkward stage.
Yes, when you cut it like extremely short, it changes your look a bit. It makes you look different.
It's going to be awkward. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be hard to deal.
You already made that slip.
I mean,
does natural hair mean ugly?
No, not at all. It's beautiful. I mean, I think I'm the perfect role model. But what I'm saying is that, like, it's going to go through that phase where it's hard to manage. You don't know the products that work for your hair. You're going to come out looking a hot mess a few days. Like, these are just part of the natural hair struggles, and there's no way around it.
Oh, I like that.
Because what works for my hair, it's not necessarily going to work for your hair.
And I think that, some people also don't have the flair as in styling their hair the natural way. And so you saying ugly, I agree with that, because they don't know how to
manage it.
And so when they style it, you look at them and you be like, why should it look in this way? And so that's
it's true.
Okay, now she already said that she thinks natural is ideal. I know you already have natural hair, so I kind of know the direction.
I think it's ideal because I am coming from a family where all are natural.
Everybody's natural.
I'm the only person who has. And even with me, I touch up my hair every 3 months or 6 months.
I do same. Sometimes
it's
longer.
better. Yeah.
So would you also say natural is ideal? Obviously.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say something that nobody else says. Men hate weave. They don't tell you, but the number of men who tell me, my girlfriend's hair, it stinks. Like, the weather here is 27 degrees Celsius. You are wearing 2 pounds of extra hair on your head. You are sweating. Even if you have AC all day, eventually you will go outside. You don't wash your hair every day.
But it's the same for natural hair. If you're not maintaining your natural hair, it will stink as well.
But however, so
that argument I don't agree with.
Our hair doesn't. Number one, most people with natural hair wash it fairly regularly. When you have weave, you have a tendency, or a perm, you have a tendency not to want to wash your hair as much. So men actually don't like it. They won't say it because they'll tell you, it's pretty much what's on there on the market, so I have to take what's there.
But I think that now to people with the permed hair, they regularly wash their hair because every weekend she wants to look.
But it's bad for your hair. Yeah. It's bad for your hair when you have a perm to wash your hair every weekend.
Okay, so I guess I know the way you're leaning towards. You're saying natural hair rocks.
All the way.
Okay. All right, my two guests are very biased on natural hair. I say, do what makes you happy. Okay,